All right, I'm going to talk about e-learning, which introduce, other types of online learning as well. Actually, I have found different expressions associated with e-learning and online learning. I thought they are good to be talked. E-learning actually is known also online education. Online education service is a website which teaches and helps students improve in their subjects, in certain subjects, such as, for example, maths, science, English, and also art as well. They are normally used by schools to let students learn from home and complete, their assignment online. Okay, we have here, for example, some website owner who possesses good online educational services, and that they may charge schools to use these websites, but open to the public, so you are allowed to use this website by free in charge. We have educational technology. It can be type of, online learning, and I can say online learning is included, educational technology. Okay, let's say educational technology is related to e-learning or vice versa, and which is the use of physical hardware, and also educational theoretics. It contains several domains, including learning theory, computer-based, and also online learning, as I said, and M-learning, which is referred to mobile techniques, mobile technologies. And educational technology is educational technologist. Educational technologist is someone who is trained the field of educational technology, and educational technologists try to analyze, for example, design or evaluate tools to enhance learning. While we have this term, the term of educational technologists is used primarily in the United States. Learning technologist is synonymous and used in UK and also in Canada, so they are both synonymous to each other. We have a sort of online learning which shouldn't be confused with e-learning due to its appearance, which is known by its name is digital learning. Digital learning, is only type of learning that is facilitated by technology or instructional, practice that makes effect use of technology. A digital learning strategy may include any of or a combination of some examples like blended learning or e-textbooks, mobile learning, online learning, or open educational resources. As I mentioned, e-learning is included digital learning. Digital learning is meant to improve the learning experience rather than replace traditional methods. That's very important here. Important points. There are some common pedagogies or practices of teaching that combine technology and learning together. For example, e-learning or online learning, individualized learning, personalized learning, educational learning, technology, something like this. Generally speaking, since most of learners are adhered well to wide spectrum of technology, such as laptop, tablet, or mobile phone, they would use e-learning to their lifestyle easily. Besides, they prefer to, combine traditional learning and modern one together. This is my interest. This type of learning actually makes the process of learning speed up in one hand, and submitting, assignment or homework, by students in other hand too. Okay, this type of learning, I'm talking about exactly educational learning, has some beneficents for both teachers and also learners, students, learners. First of all, it makes the process of learning speed up, as I mentioned just now. And second of all, it's facilitated for learners to manage their time to have and learn both traditional and also digital learning together. And also, both teachers and also students manage either soft copy and hard copy of their homework and courses rather than pile of papers on their desk. And end up, e-learning may break distance to enhance learning from all over the world, like me, who links from different parts of the world to improve her knowledge. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And I see that you are making great progress in just the art of giving lectures, and this is wonderful.
Thank you. It's kind of you. It's because of you, Doctor.
No, I just show you the way, and you yourself just take steps in the lengthy process of getting better and better, and the painstaking process of actually giving lectures, which is an academic activity. Well, okay, and the topic is really interesting because actually we are deeply into that, and even the very act of learning English and practicing English at the very moment, at this time, has something to do with e-learning, and even actually there is another term, distance learning. And of course, distance learning could be used not just necessarily on the web or actually computers. A person who uses telephone communication in order to learn something, this is actually distance learning, not necessarily the internet or the computers. You said they have some websites who possess, because the subject is plural. See, and you pronounced this phrase in another way, vice versa is them, or vice versa. I think you said vice. I don't know, but vice versa is the ideal one. And also you say e-learning is included digital learning. You should say e-learning includes digital learning, and or is included in digital learning. I wonder which one do you mean?
Is included in.
Yeah. Well, as far as I could notice, you did not use the word in your presentation. Yeah, and the pronunciation is pedagogy. I think you said pedagogy or something like this, but the first syllable is stressed, pedagogy.
Pedagogy. Okay.
Yeah. And you talked about blended learning. And could you please re-explain that? Blended learning?
Okay, as I have got from internet, blended learning is a kind of learning that you can mix or combine, two or three or, for example, any. It depends on you. Learning together. For example, can be individualized learning combined to personalized learning, or e-learning combined with, for example, educational learning, something like this, as I understand.
So blended, actually, as you said, is a mixed or mixture of, for example, learning through technology and also traditional or face-to-face. For example, if the students, you have some students who are online students, and from time to time you hold some classes in a face-to-face interface or a structure. This is blended learning. If and only if your students are local students, it means actually you and your students live in the same country, not overseas. So I cannot practice blended learning because the majority of my students, including you, do not live in Iran. So we cannot have blended learning.
Okay.
So, and also we have flipped learning. Do you know what it is?
No, actually I saw the flipped learning, but I didn't go through the meaning of flipped learning. I'm not sure whether the meaning is the same as flip-flop. I mean, for example, here, it's not focusing means?
No.
Yeah, okay, I don't know. Sorry.
Okay, you do not participate in our IELTS listening practice that is going on actually in our group class. I just provide the students with a let's say lecture or presentation embedded in the post. They have time actually processing the information, playing the lecture or animated video. They watch it in with a scrutiny. They leave some comments in the comment form before the class. It's not inside there, or let's say within the framework of the class. It happens before the class. The students asynchronously, it means actually not at the same time. They refer to the post and they play the video and they get ready for that. So this is asynchronous. And then in the class we focus on our experience and share our knowledge. Flipping the classroom refers to the process of just inverting the course of activities. This is called flipping the classroom or flipped learning. And the teacher as a lecturer does not just explain everything to the students themselves try to carry out some research before the class, and this is a great technique to make the students autonomous and independent. That's why instead of flipped learning also we could say inverted learning. You said that it has some beneficence. You should say it has some benefits. Yeah. And also you said soft copy, it's copy, and hard copy. Yeah. Okay, and the rest was really perfect, and it was my favorite area of focus.